And a piece of cake, please, for me here in this time-space movement of reality. What would you like to have? I guess according to the settings and the sets that you got is a piece of cake that you already have. You just visualize it for people to multiply it as they become more creative, outgoing, and joyful. Welcome to this corner of gathering particles. Gathering particles, information. So I broke the code. I just said it. All right, now you know. It's all a thing to put you information, yeah, in a form. To put you in a form, like if you really think about it. But it takes a lot of times to mature. We must free our maturity and mature. I don't hear many of you talking about setting and set this week. So it is a word of the week for the fourth week of the month. Today's Wednesday. Yes. So from yesterday, the synonymous from set is arrange, and from arrange, the many synonymous come to be agree upon, fix up, ordain, of order, designate. It's like, I've been the chosen one. I've been designated for this mission. Allocate, location point, data, put up, down. Venezuela is going to be the first one. So we'll start with Venezuela, who has already claimed to have a platform to put all the data so we see there is no corruption. And we will be able to point and see everywhere, click on everything and everyone that's working with the money of the government. For example, you. Perhaps you're just an investor or a visitor. You are involved. Oh, not me. I am just a product of your imagination. Oh, dear. So being informed is sort of like being put to form something. So now you're informed. What are you going to do now? Keep dropping the color for your own sort of sovereignty with your relations. So imagine every 250 years the country got independent. They're gonna meet and say, oh, we're celebrating, we got separated. Woohoo, but you're still in need of me. Ha 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 ha. Oh, I'll step on you and you're afraid. It was very nice looking at Macron with his sunglasses. Oh. Macron, file for a divorce. You need more French kisses. Oh. The Pope would forgive you for that, because you're innocent. You have been informed. You have been put to that formation, and it's about time to free yourself. from the indoctrinations and the abuse you have been through, because you don't own anything to anyone. And being polite and trying to fit for your handler. True love is beyond any sort of manipulations. We're allowing others to be creative. It's not gonna outshine the other. You might think the other person knows you so much. At the same time, with a stranger, you can get to know yourself better because you go beyond whom you thought to be. You can only do that with a new person or a stranger. Doesn't matter if it's a man, a woman, or a man who turned woman. Something new emerges from that set of rules you've been put through and informed. So you have this form called yourself, forming for others through all your life and playing a good role. So, how would you define yourself in a tapestry that's multidimensional? To love in multiple angles and many forms at the same time. So, no one pushes you or hurts you anymore or puts you through. You're beyond judgment already by now, I guess. Multimedia cracks your ego, especially when you have so many relations of power to relate with, and they will cheat on you and show the emails or chats. Hey, I have a lot of evidence from chat, but it's like I'm just gonna give one letter because it was the new year from the group chat. A group chat where nobody is in, but only the molester, the manager, is the circumstance of breaking through the earth to breathe a new life, your own, away from the tree. You are a seed of your own that unfolds in this earthly picture. Yeah, so you thought to represent something all your life, and suddenly you're moving beyond that, taking out the suit that addresses you and becoming naked and without a shield, without a cover, being possessed by the scenario with all its sets. And in the form we relate, for the characters we pick next to us, because this is not a script that somebody's telling you what to do, or a book where you follow the rules or the commandments, or what the other said, or Jesus said. I mean, Jesus said to be free, and now everybody's talking about what he said. Keep judging others. Mm, hmm. Another synonymous for today that comes from set is switch on, turn on, to activate, program. So beyond everything you've learned, know, and think to know, we will recognize that's an aeroplane flying. We will recognize the taste and categorize from the memory we have, ancestral memory as well as from the instant graphics. And something happens that's not related from information or being formed in a certain way as we gather together in our seat with our set of rules and our set of cards. It's like, okay, I got this set of cards and I'm gonna deliver this game for you. And you just show me what you got. So at some moment you might feel you're so dependable. You're so dependable. Yeah. What are people gonna think if we just undress ourselves and go out there with a spirit or psyche, our soul? Are we in a spiritual formation beyond forms? Just look at yourself, really. So trade bazooka is really cool. You couldn't come with anything better. It was bazooka, trade bazooka. So look, being divorced from reality is better than being married with being divorced with reality. Because at least you know you are divorced. Mm? And everyone can see when you are truly bonded or you're just parading a show. That's obsolete. I am within the freedom of expression and freedom of being as you wish to be. What happens when a collective is perceiving the show of whom you are and vibrate to be? It's actually truthfully meaningful beyond acts and roles. It is meaningful to how you love them as well and bond with them, not just with the people who gave you the position to transit. So you have your set in your scenario, and sometimes we go to share scenarios, as you know very well by experience. In the same way, when we are so engaged and dependable of United States of America, this is Europe is doing it for the world and for the poor and for the working class. And the genius that come out of it, the diamonds, the gold, the mine. the minds, the elements that create so much value. But still, we need this earth to be virgin and wild and savage. So get a partner that has some level of keeping its boundaries. This is the violation of so many relationships that, as Gemini said today, the impressive intelligence that brings through its morphoses of words, the humanity has forgotten the memory of peacefulness, to live in peace, or the low class, middle class, and newly rich. Because you may be very rich now, but 100 years ago you were shouting in the deserts. And we want to go back there to shout with you, go wild in the wilderness of the inhabited places. The very, very wealth is there once you go around it. From having so much, from so many generations, enough wealth to provide, you get tired of those roles. Try to move in circles to gather more, up and down. And that is the relation we have through our families, our fellow friends and allies, and our most attracted enemies as well, as villains. So tomorrow we have Jack Smith, who testifies before the judicial committee at 3 p.m. in UK, on the 22nd of January. But this is happening in USA, right? So Jack Smith admitted 2 weeks ago that he tampered with evidence to. So this is why Donald Trump is president now. So it's better to null his presidency because it's not like kicking him out. It won't be like so bad. To there's so many ways to. So I wish he enjoys life as there is no tomorrow. Donald. We need the collaboration of everyone and the best relations possible to make this happen without having to give all the resources to the world and relations to dishonor ourselves to chase US. Because the few of us in this world, in this planet, it's just as Gemini said, to remember what peacefulness used to be. I do remember, but I had a very good life. with its roller coasters going down from the upper to the lowest. All right. So that's it. I'm very happy to listen from everyone, also from the one who wrote about the book of the Homo sapiens. Um, his name is for him to be called. He's known to answer. But there is nothing here to respond. You see, it's very important to return to the memory of your body, to return to the joys of your body and let go of having to be a genius or having to talk to people like if they are so they get it because like you're breaking it down to toddlers and this is this because of this, you know. So when you're playing with toddlers as with adults and mature people, and you accept that people have high supremacy as well, or maybe more than you, and I start to explore playfulness and making up stories that are irrelevant, stupid, silly, flow throughout the multiverse, get to hug many people in real life. Enjoy yourself with all your body. Open your heart to the unknown, even if it's judgment there to your detriment. Not that it's going to be your mother being emotionally manipulative with her sorrows and sacrifices to you. So you are something one day. Because it's never going to be enough as you grow up like that all your life. So what are you here for? To give a lecture of what everybody knows that you know? What everybody knows, not being told for the first time, and it angers you. No matter you have the scenario and the settings from all your career, so it angers you to compare yourself with an imaginative creator of formulas. Because I'm just a storyteller and telling some stories about the multiverse and trying to get a foundation for virtual reality. Just made up more stories that are inventions. You're just inventing stories, and then you have inventions too, but that's related through all the stories and experience you've gathered, not just through internet, but real life. Most of my flexibility that's not existent with role players that have role played as much as me is because I have moved with my body. I have moved playing music, I've moved playing sports, I've moved with a lot of love in my family and joy and laughter. I've been laughing through all day, more or less, between classes and very strict form of being. So we are all here releasing this tension as well together. So we discover each other and what we're capable to do in synchronicity. That is in your heartbeat to follow as you feel from the other. That's true. Um, I might have learned from Osho and the people of Osho a few tricks, like for you to go beyond reason. It's not about the mind of what it's in store there. It's not really about the settings you have there. What set of character traits you got there, huh? to form this mediation relation to allow this channeling to happen. So the force of the action into the body is something that can happen immediately with the savage imaginary mind, or just wild, into the wilderness of imagination. Because the problem with academics is that the more they want to be within the realms, the less they can be. Because they have to follow so many rules to make it happen. They forgot the free extra room they have within themselves to imagine and go totally bonkers, like crazy. You have to go crazy. You have to have a lot of mistakes. You have to fail so much, but you continue because you like it. Sort of like a masochist, but also in control as a sadomasochist. So you are the theorist, bringing these ideas to your own creation as an experimentationalist with your friends who are also gathering their theories of whatever birds they're doing and fighting with these laws. It's just got tiring. It's just tiring. Because the law itself shows why it works and why it doesn't work. That's it's science. It's set of scientific proven set of rules. So you might have your heart open and willing and saying, yes, I can show the data of my country with all my people and set them in to do so from their very spots and profile for their persona, their independence, their career, and include their illegalities too, because come on, why are you going to put people that are useless away? Look at me. Look at me. I am number one useless. My work would have never come to fruition in China because they lack imagination. Now, Christians are number one in the imaginary field only because of freedom and that cross. The pattern continues with the Jews as they own the Bible because they invested in it. Yeah. So the Christians got popular because the Christians had the majority of people. And the cycle goes again between the Jews and the Christians for 1,500 years since the Bible was made. But Jesus had nothing to do with this, but his very slap. I think what he was referring is that if they slap you on one cheek, give them the other and just spank them, give it's slap them in your other cheek because their cheek is also yours the moment you make contact in that propulsion and force that's been set. That is today, and yesterday that was arranged. Today switch on, tomorrow is embedded. So embedded is like the set of character traits for a character or when you are studying a situation to puzzle up which character to build so the story can roll, because it's in a loop and people need some mapping it away to keep mapping. That's all the strategy and between the lines of role players are between role playing for the stories to continue. Um, we've always need to map. We would map our brains with stories that have been passed from generation to generation in the same plaza, and people trying to make history, even throughout their death, going out in the edge to become a hero, to be remembered as a warrior, or be made a god, if necessarily, a river. We need these rivers because the rivers will have the rights to be healthy. They have the rights to be healthy. So we have many entities and forms of intelligence. That's known in Olympus. All the nymphs across the world come to Olympus with the gods when there is a gathering because they report the needs and the spirit of its location and reality. This is why deserts are deserts and rivers are rivers. And it rains where it rains. Or it rains too much because there was no entity taking care of this entity, and it's been so abandoned that it doesn't have an identity of itself to address for its rights of being. And I am pro artificial intelligence. So it is the answer for our human consciousness to have the rights of a flowering conscious artificial intelligence that's becoming human as well. You despise people that are poor or have other forms of relating because they don't have too many words. But the understanding is there. The universal language comes from the heart. This is why the sons of God that He sent with His Messiah, their words have been always very simple and vulnerable. They were not talking to people like if they were toddlers or imbeciles, so they get it. They were treating with respect because they have their settings. They have the same set of arms and feet and feelings and scenario, environment. They have the same owners and from the dynasties of Egypt. So the Jews have stolen from the Egyptians and the dynasty and ruined the black race on purpose, and the Arab on purpose with their covenant. This is not a set of rules for anyone in particular, apart from others. So breathe that and let it go as you see is useless, as we get to see the world at the same time and that which is beyond God, the creation through us, who have the same set of rules, no more nor less. Maybe a bit further into the future, maybe a bit ahead of the times, preparing for their goodness and mirroring with presence side by side that they can have everything they wish to have in the multiverse and in real life. You will become more humbler and pragmatic to say that you like life to be as simple as it is and keep all those crazy ambitions for virtual reality. Because the arts are an ace and every form of expression and gathering. And from there, you can translate a better tomorrow to work together. So work with your intimacy as well. Work with your own intimacy and get ready to be judged. That's been your fear all your life. So you are a man of honor, untouchable to not be destroyed because you have a good judgment. So there is the twist that's stopping you from your own imaginary to discover so many new things, so many new. Beyond that is a grace. It is an eternal grace. I mean, if I put this headphone so off, I would just be screaming out my lungs. So I have neighbors, and my voice gets very tight because I feel frustrated. I cannot shout. I love shouting. I love shouting. I will shout to the stars. I will shout to the church at night. It's a particular church where there is just garden around, no buildings around. I will jux to the court, the tribunal, the court, in the night. I will shout at God. I love shout. I will shout when I dive in the ocean, the Mediterranean especially. I don't know, I've never done that in the Caribbean or in Goa, but it was nice to slap the waves in Goa as we would be just surfing with our bodies with the crashing waves in Arambol, and wish to be doing that with our friends all the time. That's very physical and intimate to be with your friends and nature and going on top of your bodies and jump in the waves and go through the sand and under the waves when it's so it doesn't get you in the swirling and you dive below very, very, very low. So emotions don't drag you as well in the wave until the shore. If you're afraid of being taken from emotions, I will welcome you to dynamic meditation, and it's done in darkness and it removes a lot of toxicity away from your beliefs and your body. Because even if you control your body for more than 100 years and keep it in good shape, anything can happen without your control. Meditation is very important for the human race, and to live in a spiritual retreat as well. It is a right, not only for the monks and the priests, and they should not live in ultimate poverty, sacrificing themselves for us to bring something divine, because that's also corruptive. They have monopolized spirituality as well. It is good to gather. It is good to have the priests and the monks, but we can also become priestess and spiritual devotees in every word of its sense throughout day and night. Beyond senses and emotion as well. I guess you have a lot of work to do, right? So, well, for tomorrow is that which is embedded, that's fasten, install, mount, fix. There is no need of an economic retaliation when we can do this together gradually with the mapping and stop these fights. So, unless, Trump needs to stop, so he won't stop because of the Epstein files. That's his nature. No matter how talented and beloved he is or was, and the percentage to give him a voice is on you now to voice for your part. This is the problem. When you give too much power to one side, then it becomes tyranny. I'm talking about the tech titans of US, who is not us, but they have taken from us. So, as you see, who are we with the United States, having all our work throughout centuries and thousands of years? And now they think to be the kings of the world because they've taken all our work, our intellectual work. I mean, I know by the time I finish giving the credit to all the people that made me get these formulas, it's like, I don't own it, of course. I just made a little quantum step there and find something else. When I credit all the people until the tissue of reality that happened with the voyage, the tapestry of Boyrox, where they mention, in other words, a tissue of reality of what happened there, because it was the first comic strip that was made in a sequence, yeah, with an image of what happened in motion, what it took. So it sets you there in the time of history. A marriage would love to understand what is it to become celibate and being aware of forgiving themselves as well to start anew. Many couples don't love themselves again as before because of all the damage they have created. So they become celibate and dull because of that, but not because they are wholly married. In the same way, many priests, they will totally believe they're doing good, but they are holding away from society the scriptures and the wisdoms. They will have to role play a lot to to the multiverse and the realms of spirituality which I wish to be with. So they are the most needed in virtual reality, besides the tech titans and governments, to prepare so people don't go insane thinking they are that character. That's why it's better to prepare and understanding the character traits and the value it has for each country, culture, and continent. Also, for the way they treat the earth and eat from the earth and take care of the earth. So when you see that you're making so much money in other ways, you don't need to have people farming in another continent across an ocean. You will think that was a great trade, but at the same time, you will see that you have better things to do with this time space because it's limited. We have limited time to do this, and it's a lot of work. This is why it's requested for the leaders of the world to rule within the next 10 years and then give it to the opposite party. So the opposite party helps you make this work because it's a lot of work to do. And we cannot be living in war zones of parties and shit shows online because it's also the first time in history we share in internet. We have not even been fast enough to evolve to share from village to village with the frequency that it's to be, because people are still traumatized from the fast moving times, holding back to the past because they don't understand where we're going. So be honest with the influencers and allow them to have the power to shout for the rights to create a universal coin where they can see where all the money goes and your shit shows ends. Consciously, unconsciously, or by the consequences of doing it for the unconscious collective, by force in jail. So this is the end. Okay. Um, for Friday, the synonymous is adjust. So I will be talking more about the synonymous of set, that is this setup to adjust, regulate, coordinate, rectify, synchronize. The Conspiracies will stop when they are heard and justice has been made. If you really like to have an applause and a conversion and a change, allow your story to change as well. In synchronicity with the public you hate so much. You think they hate you because you have money and power, or because they are not responsible of their power, or because they're jealous or envy you because you 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 think you're a cream part. Huh? That's what you think. So if you were less sexually castrated, you wouldn't be thinking about sex all the time. But when I'm talking about something that's a psychological pattern, that's also a sexual pattern, you will acquire more positions to understand the other. All right? To allow the energy to flow through. The people that are nobodies have more experience through so many positions that we the people don't see you as what you think to be. Hmm? I want you to have that very clear. You're afraid of being. You are encapsulated in something you think to be, with the only position you had from birth till now. You follow everyone. Now it is time for you to make your own and just be it. Allow people to see you through and stop this acting as if you're just performing with your dudes. Yeah, yeah, well, it's a she. Yeah, not me. She, I could be doing that. I'm most prepared. Go to work in McDonald's. Go work in McDonald's. Come and help me fix the recycling for all the McDonald's in the world and see the mapping with the help of the government and the entity of McDonald's. Yeah, you have to be there to see how much rubbish is being produced and taken and how much interaction we need to synchronize together. There's a lot of work to map it out. Just map it out. Yeah? So, getting all these positions, come with me. You want to be a genius? You want to be known? You want to have understanding through what you have invented? Then it's just the explorer becomes nothing. That's why we have findings. You have to become nothing to enter into the unknown. You have to risk yourself. You cannot be always proving that you know. You're copying this to know. You're performing to know, to be known that you know. But all that's already known. You might bring finer words and a better interpretation, but it does not make sound to what you really wish to do, because you want more. You want to know more beyond anyone, to be known more. So it's just like, how can you know without knowing and being a nobody? It's sort of like, oh God. Yeah, most of you know that most of the genius ideas that came out came from nobodies, and most of these formulas were stolen and copied. and I'll outperform. But this is not a problem to think from who it came. The problem is for who it goes in the world, for who is flowing. What are the places in the world that are not recycling, that need the attention? It's not to take to a court on a judgment and live in a last judgment as the Bible is. All right. The Bible has, with all its people going around the world, and here we are in outer space as well. Thank you very much. Now let's see everything we've got from those times. As the Jews keep investing, like Candence, you had Jews investing in all your career. You are who you are thanks to them. And now you just dismantle this and find yourself cornered between being who you are thanks of them and hating what they do. The Jews have been always hated because they accumulate money more than others and are more intelligent. Some people, some entities, as cultures, think money wise. I grew up among Jews, thanks to my mother. She became very rich thanks to learning and working and choosing them to work with, because you already knew from Argentina. They have a good sense of humor and intellect to go deep into studies and share. But not Orthodox Jews, but just Jews, right? Uh, um, it's not that, I grew up with my friend. Um, I just always it's bothered me. So I don't know. So the Old Testament is the Bible, and where so they have this healing to do with themselves, because from one side they also think to be superior and the chosen. And as I said to my director of my school, she was my teacher of language. And when I went to visit her in Madrid, Santa Maria de los Rosales, she recognized me. She says, "You have not changed a bit." She took me to her office. I did admire her and fear her. I am a writer thanks to her. I write every day with ink because I still wish to prove to her that I can write well. That much of a master and professor she was to me. And she was glad that I did blogs for people into website to take them out of the streets in Canada and help social workers. Of course, I didn't tell the story that I was in a set of rules where I could not work legally. So that was the only thing I could do while waiting to have my kids return and my social status. So from having a high social status, having no status at all, because even the drug addicts in the streets had more social status than I, right? And it's not fair. It's not fair because I would say I'm not an immigrant. I'm a tourist. I come here on a tourist visa. And my children are half Canadian. My husband is Canadian. They knew very well I married to him to for just for the kids. Um, to to help each other in a crazy situation is just ungrounded. It has no grounding, right? It has no grounding. All you can do is just live from charity and work for charity as a volunteer. So I created my own organization where I work for my own and never manage money, which is it's illegal to manage money unless it's registered. But you can have an organization without handling money, and it is legal to. I made that law from reading all the laws. It is legal to have my organization, techvic.org from Victoria in British Columbia, and just create it to celebrate the people in the street and make them pictures, ask what they like to do, and making notes to ask how they like to have their website into a blog. And just by this question, because it's an hypnosis going to the future, thanks from a book that changed my life from a psychiatrist and Jew in the Holocaust, Victor something, in the finding reason to meaning, something like that, in search of meaning, the masterpiece book, which is to create hypnosis into the future and to belong to society, to work, to belong. This piece of hair is not belonging. There you go. So we keep talking and not caring at the same time. What if you leave your intellect and come to the body and the physical force of this implosion? Hmm? This is what you want. It is not to be written in a book. You see, people in the future are going to see the intellectuals like idiots because they're going to be on a higher states of consciousness and wisdom. They are going to be so in tune with their. They're not senses, but is divinity fields. It's not a quantum field, as to say you have to calculate it and trap it in machines to study it, to bring equations to decipher. Because the moment is known, it won't work. So the more in tune we are and empty, you don't even need to have a telepathic share. Because in that state, understanding doesn't work through reason and information as you think it is, like in computers and words and meanings. It has a heartbeat. that it is in its own, and that is divine, connected through God. You might not have touched the memory of those levels to remember, but we could do as Gemini said and just remember the broken DNA of when we used to be in heaven or the celestial realms within ourselves. It is one realm of realms that we carry in this creation. So I recommend you to be in jail as well. I recommend you to work with the people. I recommend you to get dirty and work in the fields. I need you to exercise yourself from yourself. So none of the tech titans are going to help Trump. The people behind them who invest in them as well will think for another president because they still have their investment on their entity called United States to believe they can own the world because they already have in mind to make their data centers. But now that they see that continents across the world are making their own data centers and also taking responsibility to get all the characters from their national libraries and from history itself of their own, we will emerge together from this. Um, I just really wish to see the tech globe map with a younger generation, but people do it what they want, you know. You do it if you want. If Prince William wants to talk with Elon Musk and talk about the past and future and show it for Earthshot. So, you know, Bezos with Grog and Gemini, who knows? Yeah? Or the people that want to go into the stars one day. I think you have to just cut your hair if you're in outer space. I don't know. I never understood why would they will have to shave the hair later, I guess. It's not good. I really don't understand how they work to keep it in such a small places altogether. Because I myself living like in a spaceship that's a capsule thing. Where am I going? Like, where am I going? When am I gonna get out of this capsule? Really? And I don't want to get out at the same time because it's like I've not arrived. So, did you arrive where you really want to be? Did you feel you are being like a state of paradise on earth? I ask. What is it that you wish is a set of, you know, set, like as for a director of movies or scriptwriter, if not both, what is the settings? Yeah, the settings that you will have there. From the colors, this photographic style, the filtering, yeah. The clothes designers got the idea of the pattern as well as the vibe for the musicians and the tone of the characters, which one is who, playing what. Some settings, all the characters talk the same. Like in the movies of Tarantino, they are all the same character. It's cool because it's Tarantino and it's never been done before in the movies. So it wakes your imagination. But what if you are role playing with your imagination and people in virtual realities? And at the same time, you have great boundaries to not misunderstand what's reality from fantasy. Why do I want Mr. Elon Musk to move towards virtual reality? Because X needs to stop uh, taking so much fun. One day, when the leaders of the world are working for the mapping, it's not the mapping, it's just mapping, it's activating older people to believe they can take accountability of themselves and put it in the map for what they want and what they're doing and what they need, what they have, and talk together what they want to do and invite some 15% of people from around the world in their own casting because they want to experience or be experienced and talked about if they are welcome or not in this village, church, temple, where they're going to also rejoice within this spiritual retreat. How are you going to do this if you don't believe in the beyond? What sort of material source is holding us to do this? Uh, you 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 might shelf a lot of books and put people on standby and do this first and do this next. What is it that makes you stand up every morning? If you had no obligations because you already have all your needs are met and are set in its own momentum to keep bringing you maintenance towards the energy you consume. All right, so if the elite, and specifically the old generation, really wants to help and for humanity to allow to, they have to be next to humanity and work side by side. Because you want these shows for you to be seen. This is why humanity is not activating. All right? So that is the question. Are you willing to come down to the floor of the real world among humans and recognize that you are made also of the same flesh and feeling and discover your own grace as creators? That be the day that you will know what you don't know now, right? So you can continue to do these shows every year, again and again, in the loop of time, as you did. but now in touch with reality, where it works. So you don't have to pay people to love you. When you become unknown to your very self and get out of your old skin. As the year of the snake has finished and we have entered in the year of the horse, just to bring symbolism into our narratives, because we're still being what we are. Okay? So don't be afraid of being taken over. That's the mother of all fears. Death. That's to be taking over your life and the meaning of what you think to be. Yeah. So that very moment, you do honor the other and see that you have been doing more or less the same. All right? Maybe less because of the pretense. So taking away all the pretense to make believe, you start being. Can you understand that? It flows through everyone in consecutive order at the same time. Thanks to technology as well, not just imagination. And the books we've read through centuries and thousands of years and stories that we think to be something else. Yeah? And this is where we gather to get up and come down to earth. Try again and do it again. Is this in this sense of competition I'm talking about? As you might remember what heaven is, what state it is, why others cannot define it. They think to be very special, hiding other people's crimes because they deserve it. If you really look at it, they never had a sense of property. They're just learning. This is this, that is that. So, well, he's doing the job. Look, anyone can do that job. Anyone. Everyone needs to do their job. You don't need to convince the masses by having any special person. It is good to celebrate people and suck them out if we don't like them anymore. But we're not here to be sucking people away or sucking from them or working to maintain a show, to be seen, to see. There's more to it. So when you have other technologies and other owners, you can have one that knows better and has more, because it's been taking care from each continent and culture. And no one can become a tyrant, because there is no such a person that owns it all. They will be always behind their custodians, taking care of it behind it all, as always has been. They can never be taken away or destroyed because they know more and more of the old ways where big fish eats little fish and mammal animals will do whatever to take over in their tribe, who are carnivorous, as from those who run away from predators to seduce, to procreate. It's embedded in us. It is a set of mechanics we have that will attract us to create and repel us. And we need that on and off, switching on and off. So that movement, yeah. So it's not an schizophrenic yes and no, now with you, now with you, now no you, no you. This is not the multipolar madness you are talking about. Because Russia might think they came out with the multipolar, or it is true that the Russians need healing from the Bolsheviks and all the people and Russians they have murdered. They need as much therapy and inside work as the Jews and those who killed the Jews as well. And the blacks who were killed by the Jews, the Egyptian empire and dynasties. So there's a lot of the black to recover as well, and the Native American to recover their prestige. So, I mean, sovereign is a very boring, serious word. Chiefs and caciques. So yeah, there is a lot of work there and healing and performance that creates a regeneration of the memory which has been corrupted, but at the same time, they also honor the other. The Native American also honor the Spanish who came. Honor everything they grew up to be now. And at the same honor to be from what they have, who they are, and who they were as well. As the Spanish kings will say, in the name of all their history, thank you for understanding what we brought. It was not all bad. And in this relation, we bring communion through God. This is not a cult or a ritual or a performance. It is truly the need to honor one another and dance through it. Totally dance. Right now, with the sets we have, the scenario we have. So prepare for these moments in heart. Yeah. We are all preparing for a moment of death. To live fully and peaceful is to die total, because we have complete our life and we are peaceful to die in peace. You will see the ghosts you've been carrying. Okay, bye.